Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to give you that focused look at daily current affairs, especially curated for your UPSC preparation.
That's right, cutting through the noise, getting straight to what matters for the exam.
Exactly. So today's May 16th, 2025, and this is part one of our analysis. Keep in mind, some topics might sound familiar from past discussions.
Good for revision, reinforcing those key concepts.
Definitely. We've got quite a mix today: tech, geopolitics, environment, culture, defense, all relevant to different parts of the syllabus.
A broad sweep, but all interconnected, as you'll see.
So if this helps you, please do hit that like button and subscribe for more. Okay, let's jump right in. First up, something from Kerala, this geotubing technology.
Yes, geotubes. We're seeing some interesting results from Prunthura in Kerala, using them for offshore breakwaters.
Okay, so break it down for us. What exactly are geotubes? Big fabric tubes.
Essentially, yes. Large, permeable tubes. Made from a specific kind of fabric, and they're filled with dredged materials like sand or silt.
Permeable, meaning water can get out.
Precisely. The water escapes, but the solids stay inside. It's a really effective method for dewatering and, critically for places like Kerala, for erosion control.
Makes sense. What's a fabric? Must be pretty strong.
It is. It's a high-strength polypropylene woven geotextile designed specifically for harsh marine environments.
And how are they used for coastal protection, like artificial barriers?
Exactly. They can be used offshore as breakwaters, basically, taking the punch out of the waves before they hit the beach, or they can be used right on the coast, like seawalls.
So they limit wave damage to beaches, dunes, protect canals, bays too.
Yes, all of that. The main goal is coastal defense, minimizing erosion, and crucially, holding on to that precious sand.
It sounds quite adaptable. Can they be made in different sizes?
Oh, yes. Various sizes, shapes, tailored to the specific site conditions. They can even be used in potentially contaminated areas to contain dredged materials safely.
And the Prunthura study showed good results.
Quite remarkable transformations, apparently, in the coastal landscape behind where the breakwater stretch was installed. Definitely a technology to watch.
Interesting. Okay, from coastal engineering, let's shift to another vital resource, freshwater. DRDO's developed some indigenous desalination tech.
That's right. This is quite significant. They've developed a high-pressure, nanoporous, multi-layered polymeric membrane specifically for turning seawater into freshwater.
Indigenous, so developed here in India.
Yes, by DMSRDE in Kanpur, that's the Defense Materials Stores Research and Development Establishment. It falls under the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative.
Self-reliance in critical tech. Who's the main user initially?
The Indian Coast Guard. The membrane is designed to be particularly robust to withstand the high chloride ion concentration in seawater, which can be quite corrosive.
So it helps their ships stay out longer, generate their own water.
Exactly. Provides self-reliant freshwater capability for their offshore patrol vessels, their OPVs. Reduces dependence on shore supplies.
Makes sense. Now, desalination itself, it's basically removing salt, right?
Fundamentally, yes. Removing dissolved salts and other minerals from saline or brackish water to make it potable.
And the main ways globally are reverse osmosis and thermal desalination.
Those are the two big ones, yes. RO uses pressure and membranes. Thermal uses heat. This DRDO tech is in the RO category.
Okay, so reverse osmosis, how does that work?
Yeah.
It's the opposite of normal osmosis.
It is. See, normally, water moves across a membrane from low salt concentration to high salt concentration. Osmosis.
Right.
In reverse osmosis, you apply external pressure to the salty water side. This forces the water molecules against the natural osmotic flow through the membrane, leaving the salt behind.
So you're pushing the water through, but the salt gets blocked.
Precisely. The RO membranes have these incredibly tiny nanoscopic pores. Yeah. Water molecules can pass, but the larger salt ions and impurities can't. It's like a super fine filter under high pressure.
Got it. And the difference in salt levels is pretty dramatic.
Oh, absolutely. You go from seawater, which is around, say, 35,000 parts per million of total dissolved solids, down to maybe 200, 500 ppm, perfectly drinkable, a big achievement for DRDO.
Definitely. Okay, moving from water tech to high-altitude life. Yak genomics, there's been a breakthrough.
Yes, a major one. The first chromosome-level genome assembly of the Indian yak.
Chromosome-level, that sounds detailed. A collaborative effort, too.
It was. 4 ICAR institutes worked together. And chromosome-level means we now have a really high-resolution map of the yak's entire genetic code organized by chromosome. much more precise than before.
And this is important because the yak, the ship of the Himalayas, is so vital for those high-altitude communities. Ladakh, Himachal, Sikkim, Arunachal.
Absolutely indispensable. They provide livelihoods, meat, milk, fiber, dung for fuel, even transport. They're incredibly well adapted.
Their cold tolerance is amazing. Now, there's a difference between domestic and wild yaks, right?
There is. The domestic yak, Bos grunions, is what we typically see in the Indian Himalayas, usually above 7,000 feet. The wild yak, Bos mutus, is found more in Tibet, Mongolia, Russia. They're related to cattle, genus Bus.
And the main research center is in Arunachal.
Yes, the ICAR National Research Center on yak in Durang. They led this genome work using a long-read sequencing technology and advanced bioinformatics tools.
So this super detailed genetic map, what can we do with it? Practical benefits.
Huge potential. We can now pinpoint genes related to really important traits like disease resistance, milk quality, fertility, and crucially, how they adapt to that harsh climate.
So better breeding programs, maybe. Healthier, more productive yaks.
Exactly. Better breeding, improved resilience, and much more informed conservation strategies for this unique animal.
Fascinating. Okay, let's shift location again down to Chhattisgarh. Madku Island, the high court's involved.
Yes, the Chhattisgarh High Court is monitoring some development initiatives there. Madku Island is on the Shivnath River, Bilaspur district.
And the name Madku means frog because of its shape.
Apparently so. It's about 24 hectares. It also has other names, Kedar Tirth, Harihar Kshetra Kedar Dweep, hints at its religious significance.
But it's not just religious, there's deep history too. Archaeology.
Oh, yes. They've found prehistoric stone tools there, also epigraphs, coins, even stone inscriptions dating back possibly to the 3rd century BC, Brahmi and Shanka scripts mentioned.
Wow, 3rd century BC, that's ancient. What else? Temples, idols?
Lots of ancient idols found: Shiva, Ganesha, Shiv Parvati, Nandi, others, and excavations revealed remains of 19 temples.
19 temples on a small island.
Seems so. Interestingly, 18 face east, but the middle one faces west. The architectural style looks similar to the Great Kulturs dynasty period.
So a really rich historical and religious site. And there's a modern event too, a Christian fair.
Yes. The Mazihi Mela, held every February since 1909, attracts huge crowds from across the state and beyond, so you have this blend of ancient history and living tradition. The court's monitoring likely aims to balance development with preservation.
Right, a delicate balance. Okay, let's pivot to geopolitics. The Golden Dragon 2025 exercise, Cambodia and China.
Yes, and this one is significant because it's reportedly their largest ever joint exercise. Land, sea, and air components involved.
They've been doing these since 2016, haven't they? To boost military ties.
Correct. The official theme is joint counterterrorism and humanitarian relief. But the scale and location raise broader questions.
Location being the Ream Naval Base, the one recently upgraded with Chinese involvement.
Exactly. In Sihanoukville, Chinese warships docked there for the inauguration in April 2025, conducting their largest exercise there. It signals growing Chinese presence and capability in the Gulf of Thailand.
And the timing, coinciding with the U.S.-Philippines Balikatan exercise.
Mm-hmm. That timing is certainly noted by regional observers. It highlights the strategic competition playing out.
What about the tech involved? Anything noteworthy?
Reports mention advanced stuff, reconnaissance and attack drones, surgical robots, even robot dogs. So a focus on modern warfare tech.
And the Ream base access. Does it spark concerns similar to Hambantota in Sri Lanka or Gwadar in Pakistan, dual-use ports?
Those parallels are definitely being drawn. Concerns about China gaining strategic access points. It fits into the narrative around China's increasing power projection capabilities, sometimes called the string of pearls strategy.
Okay, a situation to watch closely. Let's bring it back home to Chennai, the Adyar River rejuvenation project. It's stalled.
Unfortunately, yes. It's a major project, around Rs of 1,500 crore, aimed at cleaning up a 44-kilometer stretch of the river. But it seems to have hit roadblocks.
The Adyar is one of Chennai's main rivers, flowing into the Bay of Bengal.
That's right. Originates near Chembarambakam Lake, winds through the city. The Adyar estuary itself is actually a protected wildlife reserve.
How long is the river?
About 42.5 kilometers. Near the mouth, sandbars form the Adyar Creek, which is a tidal backwater area.
And it collects water from a wide area: lakes, streams, city drains.
Yes, a large catchment area, over 800 square kilometers. It takes surplus water from tanks, lakes, streams, plus Chennai's rainwater drains. But therein lies the problem.
City waste getting into it.
A major issue. Untreated sewage and waste drainage significantly pollute the river, which is why that rejuvenation project is so critical.
Let's hope it gets back on track soon.
Mhm.
Now, for some materials, science oxygen electrocatalysis. Sounds complex.
It is fundamental to clean energy tech. Researchers at CNS, part of DST, have developed a new iron-doped catalyst.
And oxygen electrocatalysis. That's about reactions involving oxygen for things like hydrogen production.
Exactly. Crucial for water splitting to make hydrogen, clean fuel generation, even making hydrogen peroxide, HO. But these reactions are often slow, energy-hungry, and rely on pricey metals like platinum or ruthenium.
So the goal is a cheaper, more efficient catalyst.
Precisely. This new catalyst is based on nickel selenide, but enhanced by doping it with iron.
Iron-doped nickel selenide? And they made different versions.
Yes, variants like Nix for SNC and Niax for XNC. One specific variant, Nix for Airs at 400, showed really outstanding performance for both key reactions.
Both. Which ones again?
The oxygen evolution reaction, OER, that's making oxygen in water splitting, and the oxygen reduction reaction, OER, that's converting oxygen, used in fuel cells or making chemicals like H-Euros.
And how did it perform? Better than existing catalysts.
Significantly better in some aspects. For OER, it needed less energy to start, lower overpotential, and was very durable, outperforming standard ruthenium catalysts over 70 hours. For ORR, specifically for making H-Euros, it beat platinum catalysts in speed, efficiency, and stability.
That's quite impressive. What's the innovation behind it? Using iron.
That's key. They start with a material called a metal organic framework, or MOF. MOFs have lots of surface area, good for catalysis, but usually don't conduct electricity well.
Right. Poor conductivity is a problem.
So doping with iron atoms modifies the MOF's electronic structure, making it much more catalytically active. Then, to fix the conductivity, they heat it through pyrolysis, turning it into a carbon-rich material which conducts electricity much better.
Clever combination. Low-cost materials, iron doping for activity, carbonization for conductivity.
Exactly. A smart design that could really help make clean energy tech more affordable and efficient.
Very promising. Okay, now to a topic involving scriptures and the Supreme Court, the Agamas. The court wants temples in Tamil Nadu classified.
Yes, as either agamic or non-agamic. The Supreme Court asked a Madras High Court committee to do this within 3 months.
So what are the Agamas? Ancient texts?
They are a collection of scriptures for various Hindu devotional schools. The name Agama means tradition or that which has come down. They cover a vast range of topics.
Like what? Temple building.
Yes, detailed instructions on temple construction, deity worship rituals, mantras, meditation, philosophical doctrines, cosmology, epistemology, even how to attain certain life goals. Very comprehensive.
Do we know when they originated?
Their exact origin and chronology are complex and debated by scholars. But we know they fall into 3 main branches: Shaivism for Shiva, Vaishnavism for Vishnu, and Shaktism for the goddess Shakti.
And they're linked to Tantrism.
Particularly the Shakta Agamas. They are often closely associated with, or even referred to as, Tantras.
How do they relate to the Vedas? Are they considered part of the Vedas?
Not directly derived from the Vedas, but generally seen as being in harmony with the Vedic spirit. They hold independent scriptural authority within their traditions.
And they are still actively followed today, especially in the South.
Very much so. Many temples, particularly in Tamil Nadu, follow agamic precepts for daily rituals, festivals, architecture. That's why this classification by the court is significant for temple administration and religious practice.
Right. Okay, shifting to the border now. The Shakargarh Bulge. Reports of a Pakistani military buildup.
Yes, recent reports suggest a notable concentration of tanks and armored vehicles there.
Remind us where this is and why it's strategic. It juts into India.
It does. It's Pakistani territory between the Ravi and Chenab rivers. The terrain is flat, good for armored movement, and it's near important road and rail links on both sides.
And close to Indian cities, Pathankot, Amritsar.
Yes, close to Amritsar, Pathankot, Batala, Gurdaspur. Also near road links to Jammu. So it's a very sensitive area for the Indian Army.
It was also a major battle site in the 1971 war, wasn't it?
Indeed. The Battle of Basantar was fought there. A fierce 12-day tank battle that was crucial for the Western Front's outcome. So any buildup there naturally attracts close attention due to history and strategy.
Understood. Finally, let's look at South America. Colombia joining China's Belt and Road Initiative.
That's the news. Formally joined during a meeting in Beijing. It's significant given Colombia's position.
The gateway of South America.
Exactly. Northwest of the continent, connecting South, Central, and North America. Borders Panama, Venezuela, Brazil, Peru, Ecuador. Coastlines on both the Caribbean and Pacific.
Rich in resources, too. Oil, gas, coal, gold.
Yes, significant natural resources. Geographically diverse too, with the Andes Mountains and lowland plains. High biodiversity. Its highest point is Pico Cristobal Colon. Major rivers like the Magdalena, Amazon, Orinoco flow through it.
And it's an OECD member.
Joined in 2020, India also has an audiovisual co-production agreement with Colombia, but this deepening China-Colombia link via BRI, it certainly has implications for India's strategic outreach in Latin America. Something to consider.
Right. Well, that brings us to the end of Part 1 for May 16th, 2025. We've covered quite a lot: geotubes, desalination, yaks, Madku Island, Golden Dragon, the Adyar River, new catalysts, Agamas, Shakargarh, and Colombia joining BRI.
A real mix, but all relevant for your UPSC preparation in different ways. Technology, environment, geopolitics, culture, security. It's all interconnected.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought for you, listener, is to consider those connections. How does a tech breakthrough like desalination impact resource management, a key governance issue?
Or how do military exercises in Southeast Asia or a South American country joining BRI influence India's strategic calculations and foreign policy? Thinking about these links is key.
Well said. We hope this deep dive was useful. Please do like and subscribe if you found it helpful, and join us again for Part 2 of our May 16th analysis.